Hello, well, we're going to get right into it, but just want to let you know you can use the timeline or video line below to skip to any part that you want to watch. So number one is going to be pretty obvious, right? It's cast everything on cooldown. You should not hold Rune of Power for Frozen Orb or Frozen Orb for Icy Veins unless there's around sub 7 seconds on either of those cooldowns. You should just send Rune of Power and Frozen Orb on cooldown, but also you should only use it if the mobs will live the full duration. This is targeted at Mythic Plus specifically. The prior comment was mostly a raid thing, but if in Mythic Plus all the mobs in the pack are at 5% HP, then you should definitely save Rune of Frozen Orb for the next pull, which is, we always, Icy Veins times, right? For Mythic Plus, you should not Icy Veins single targets if they aren't a boss, and you shouldn't Icy Veins a second time on a boss if it won't be up for the next trash pull. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is not having Icy Veins up going into an AoE pack after doing a single target pull. And the prior tip of don't Icy Veins when the mob won't live the full duration or won't live to get you a reset applies here too. So one trick that I like to do if we are doing an AoE pack right before Lieutenant and I know we're going to pull Lieutenant right afterwards is to reuse my Icy Veins later in the pack and do the next trick to get a lot of CDR on it, and this will let me keep half or so of my Icy Veins duration going into the single target while also keeping the guarantee that my Icy Veins will be up for the AoE pull after Lieutenant. You should Frost Nova an AoE with Frozen Orb and Blizzard out. If there are 5+ targets that can be rooted, your opening AoE should just be casting Blizzard, Frozen Orb, and then Frost Nova. Obviously you should have Rune down as well if that's up. After that you can just spam Ice Lance or Arcane Explosion depending on your talents or target count, but shattering your Orb and Blizzard on greater than 5 targets or 5 targets or more does a lot of damage and just gives you a huge amount of cooldown reduction because of Icy Propulsion. It's important to note here that Blizzard crits don't count towards your Icy Propulsion cooldown reduction, but they can shatter, so they do a lot of damage. Alright, track. I cannot suggest a Mirrors of Torment and Frozen Orb tracker enough. They will help you so much in not munching your procs and letting know when you have enough time to cast a Frostbolt between your Ice Lances and Frozen Orb, or time to Frostbolt, shatter your Flurry during Mirrors of Torment, or just time to send a Flurry during your Frozen Orb when you can maybe sneak in one unempowered Ice Lance. So I'll have both of those linked in the description below. You just need to keep scrolling until you see the weak ores, and it'll be Freezing Winds tracker and Mirrors of Torment, and those are very helpful. ABC, always be casting, right? Frost is especially brutal in this because your uptime in Icy Veins is very important, right? You double dip losses when Icy Veins isn't up because your Icy Propulsion conduit only works in Icy Veins, and the spec is pretty much just balanced around 100% uptime on Icy Veins right now. So not having it just hurts so much, especially the haste. But yeah, this tip's pretty simple, right? Just keep spamming those buttons, but I promise that doing that will make your damage go up. So, thanks for watching. Feel free to check out some of my other Mythic Plus videos, and I do have a full Frost Mage guide from a few weeks ago as well, if you want to look at that. It's a little bit less organized than this, but, it's still pretty good, especially if you're newer to Frost or you want to learn some of the better things to do in Raid or in your AoE rotation.